So good.
SoulGood sounds broadcast around the world. I'm your host, Bill Fragos. Thanks for joining us on episode 1179, 2 hours of the latest in house and underground, tribal and Afro house each and every week. I'm joined by Exacta this week. Some massive tracks coming your way. Pablo Fierro with Robina. Got an Afro house track for this week's SoulGood selection in about 30 minutes. Our featured guest of the week, all the way from Brighton in the UK. Very much known for his tech house, his acid house sounds. Steve Mack is our featured guest. Followed up by this week's F-Mix. Percussive beats, tribal sounds, progressive sounds. Shay DT, Tektonauts, Wally, Lopez in there. And then the final 15 with Exacta chatting with him. For the New York Minute, featuring a selection of his favourite tracks of the week. But to start us off, Joeski featuring Adrian Viafara with Patria, the epic mix. Got Mijangos with Windows to the Soul. Quentin Harris with Joy, the Tuff Jam vocal. And David Penn and Who with big piano, anthemic sounds, La Fiesta. This is SoulGood.
Check it out. It's so good. This is Bill Fragos in the mix on SoulGood.
Shades of hope and midnight blue. Each flicker tells us a tale untold of passions, fierce yet gentle, bold. They speak in ways no words can find, a secret language of the mind. In their depths I
music is a soul thing.
La Bossa Nova, 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 La Bossa Nova. we got a thing that's based on a type of Latin rhythm known as the Bossa Nova. But it's not really a Bossa Nova, but we think that you will dig this. Will dig this. Will dig this. Is this the Bossa Nova?
This is Bill Fragos in the mix on SoulGood. house on SoulGood.
Right, checking out the latest sounds by Pablo Fierro here at SoulGood. It's called Robina. Before that, HP Viatz and Chuck Roberts, their huge track Jacket Groove, remixed and reworked for 2025, Nodus and Lady Deep. And before that, you heard David Herrero with Everything is Bossa Nova. This is SoulGood. If you'd like to know what tracks we're playing, check out soulgood.com. Look for episode 1179 for its set list. Alternatively, head to Instagram, SoulGood Podcast. Hit us up with any comments, any DMs. Time for this week's SoulGood selection. A lovely tribal Afro house track by Aaron Sevilla, teaming up with Matheus and Casanova Beatz. It's called Bumbata.
SoulGood selection. SoulGood selection.
With this week's SoulGood selection, Aaron Sevilla, Matheus, Casanova Beatz with Bumbata. I'm your host, Bill Fragos. This is SoulGood. If you want to check out some tribal sounds, some after hours and twisted sounds, check out the F mix in about 60 minutes. Got Shay DT in there. Got Space Motion as well. We've got the final 15 with Exacta all the way from New York City. Chatting with him for the New York Minute. But up next, over the years, he's given us some huge tracks. Bonafide, Dizzy Heights, You, Waiting. Huge tracks alongside Josh Butler, including From the Vault, No Need to Hide. And his huge track, Incredible. Steve Mack is our feature guest up next on SoulGood.
Hi, this is Pablo Ceballos from Susan Ceballos, and you are listening to SoulGood.
This is David Penn, and you are listening to SoulGood.
This is Hector Romero from Def Mix Soul Recordings, New York City, and you're listening to SoulGood.
This is Sandy Rivera from Kings of Tomorrow, and you're listening to SoulGood.
This is Eddie Amador, and you're listening to SoulGood.
Hi, this is Roger Sanchez, and right now you are checking out SoulGood.
This is Jerome Sydenham, you're listening to SoulGood. Keep on listening to SoulGood, because it's so good.
SoulGood.
SoulGood is broadcast around the world on a number of radio stations and streaming sites available for download right now. SoulGood.com, podcast app on Apple, or your favorite podcast player on Android. I'm your host, Bill Fragos, joined by Exacta. Thanks for your company. It's time for this week's featured guest of the week, all the way from Brighton in the UK. This has given us huge tracks: Jumpin', You Used to Hold Me, Bells of Brighton, Ball Bearing, Without You, Heartbreak, Loving You More, very much known for his tech sounds, acid sounds. This is Steve Mack, our featured guest of the week on SoulGood.
This is SoulGood's featured guest of the week.
Hi, this is Steve Mack, and you're listening to SoulGood.
good unless it's soul good.
Hi, this is Steve Mack and you're listening to SoulGood.
With a brand new edition available for download every single week, this is SoulGood. This is SoulGood's featured guest of the week.
Hi, this is Steve Mack and you're listening to SoulGood.
You are checking out Steve Mack, our featured guest of the week on SoulGood this week. I'm your host, Bill Fragos. Thanks for joining us. Episode 1179. Steve Mack responsible for huge tracks, Waiting, Apollo 13, Feel the Pressure, The Fly, Happy, Slow Dance. And up next, we'll continue with more Steve Mack on SoulGood.
This is SoulGood.
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 Giving you 2 hours of the latest in house and underground, tribal house and Afro house. Each and every week, I'm your host, Bill Fragos. This is SoulGood. Thanks for your company. I'm joined by Exacta in the middle of a mix, courtesy of Steve Mack, all the way from Brighton, the UK. Huge track not too long ago called Incredible. Teamed up with Justin Harris on a track called Paradise Couch. Josh Butler a couple of times as well from The Vault, No Need to Hide. Very much known for his techie sounds. And right now we'll continue with his mix. This is Steve Mack, our featured guest of the week on SoulGood.
This is SoulGood's featured guest of the week.
Hi, this is Steve Mack and you're listening to SoulGood.
body. Work, work, work that. Work, work that body. Work, work, work that. Work, work that body. Work, work.
It ain't good unless it's soul good.
Work that body. I'm gonna hurt somebody. Work, work, work that. Work, work that body. 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 I'm gonna hurt somebody. Work, 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 work that. 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 Work that body. I'm gonna hurt somebody.
Hi, this is Steve Mack and you're listening to SoulGood.
With a brand new edition available for download every single week, this is SoulGood. This is SoulGood's featured guest of the week.
Hi, this is Steve Mack and you're listening to SoulGood.
You've been checking out the sounds of Steve Mack, our featured guest of the week here at SoulGood. I'm your host, Bill Fragos. Thank you for your company. And a big thank you goes out to Steve Mack, all the way from Brighton in the UK, for being our featured guest of the week. Is to be part of Rhythm Masters, all that work with Todd Terry, huge productions. Thank you once again, Steve. Up next, getting After Hours and Twisted, Tribal, Progressive with the F-Mix on SoulGood. Tracks by Tektonauts, by Wally, Lopez, by Shay DT, and then the final 15 with Exacta, chatting with him for the New York Minute, dropping some of his favourite tracks of the week. This is SoulGood.
This is SoulGood.
SoulGood.
The sounds of SoulGood broadcast around the world. I'm your host, Bill Fragos. Thanks for your company, joined by Exacta. If you'd like to know what tracks we're playing here at SoulGood, soulgood.com. Our set lists are available there. This is episode 1179. Alternatively, Instagram, SoulGood Podcast. Hit us up with any comments, any DMs. Start with this week's F-Mix. After Hours, Twisted Sounds, Percussive, Progressive. Kicking off with Shay DT, Body Swag, another tribal track by the Tektonauts. It's called Crazy. Getting a little bit more up-tempo and twisted by Wally Lopez, track called Bass One. And we've got a lovely progressive track by Space Motion called Hybrid. This is the F-Mix on SoulGood.
Hey Bill, I think it's time we turn it up on SoulGood. This is Bill Fragos in the mix on SoulGood.
This is Exacta, and keep it locked because my final 15 and New York Minute are coming your way.
From the streets of New York City, this is Soul Good.
Welcome home, yo.
New York, you know I love you.
Work.
New York is the state of mind.
This is the New York Minute with Exacta.
SoulGood is broadcast around the world on a number of radio stations and streaming sites we reach far and wide. Available for download right now, soulgood.com as well. We reach all the way to New York City, where we're joined by the DJ, the producer, the legend himself, responsible for You Keep Calling Me Freedom and Empty Spaces, Exacta. What's happening in New York City for the New York Minute?
It's another massive weekend in New York. Huge lineup, tech support, Loco Dice, and guests at Sunset Park Rooftop.
And what tracks do you have for us for this week's Final 15?
More fresh jams coming your way, starting it off with The Bloom, Supernova. Then we have Baye, De Fantôme, the extended mix, Frankie Rizzardo, and we're closing it out with the live Hot Since 82 and Kuda. This is Exacta on the one and the only Soul Good.
Hey Exacta, I think it's time for you to drop that New York City beat. From New York City, this is Exacta in the mix on SoulGood.
Envolve com os cria, se envolve com os cria. O bagulho tá doido, vai sentando menina. Envolve com os cria, se envolve com os cria. O bagulho tá doido, vai sentando menina. envolve com os cria, se envolve com os cria. O bagulho tá doido, vai sentando menina. Envolve com os cria, se envolve com os cria. O bagulho tá doido, vai sentando menina.
This is Exacta in the mix on Soul Good.
You are checking out Exacta mixing it up for the final 15 once again here at SoulGood. I'm your host, Bill Fragos. Thank you, Exacta, for that mix. Dropping a bit of Hot Since 82, Supernova, Frankie Rizzato. Thank you once again. Big thank you goes out to Steve Mack for being our featured guest of the week a little bit earlier on. If you want to listen back, all the brand new music that we played, those mixes by Exacta Steve Mack, SoulGood.com, podcast app on Apple, favorite podcast player on Android, or stream us via your favorite streaming site. Big thank you to all those radio stations and streaming sites broadcasting SoulGood around the world. Thanks to the DJs, the producers, the music labels supplying us with the tunes each and every week. If you'd like to know what tracks we played, SoulGood.com, episode 1179. Check out our set list there. Alternatively, Instagram, SoulGood Podcast. Hit us up, any comments, any likes, any DMs. Thank you once again for your company. This very big edition, a lot of percussive beats this week. Until next time, peace.
Hey Bill, I think it's time for more of Exacta. Thank you for listening to Soul Good.